This is Spoon 107.5 FM. From the top of Wologisi to the beaches of Maryland, we cover Liberia like nobody else does. This is Spoon 107.5 FM.
Wednesday, the 26th day of February 2025. Time here in Liberia, 5 minutes down 3 p.m. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Liberia. Wherever it is you listening to us from, I love to say a pleasant and a welcome to you. For those of you listening to us across the length and breadth of Liberia. For those of you watching us via various online platforms, I love to say good day to you wherever it is you watching us from. This is the Pulse here on the Spoon Network. My name is Diamond Slanger. It's a pleasure being here this afternoon. On tomorrow, we'll have a change in presentation schedule. That is due to some other engagements as well. Yekezi Zwobe will present on Tuesday and Thursdays, and I'll present on Monday and Wednesday until we can sort out some external scheduling problems. But one thing you can be guaranteed of is going to be the same level of presentation information as well as your interaction. So all you need to do is kindly share the show. For those of you watching, we do have a very jam-packed program lined up for you this afternoon. What's happening there in the legislature? We have so many juicy things to talk about, and what we do on the Pulse is that we bring the newsmakers so that you get the information from the horse's mouth. It's not me or Yekezi going to sit here 2 hours plus, analyzing and talking. We want to bring you those who are concerned with these topics as well. It's not just politics. We delve into every sector of our country. Well, you're welcome again. If you're celebrating a special occasion on today, I wish you all of the best. So what do we have lined up for you? Well, the information is, but before I tell you what the first information is that we have for you on the Pulse, let's enjoy this freestyle.
Purchase your tracks today.
The freestyle.
And I started. They feel me, and they say, whoa, I still kidding all my listen. I mean, where you going? I'm going to the school. I want to go to my class with you. My first day in school, I said, with this school, to not come in.
So that's just a teaser and icebreaker I chose to share with you this afternoon on the program. I came across that on Facebook and it made me laugh. And with all of the things happening in Liberia, we do need a moment of laughter just to crack our ribs, crack ourselves up, rethink, recalibrate, and move on. So a lot happening in the country. As I said, we'll be speaking to the superintendent of Nimba County, Superintendent Nimba County. She's going to join us. From information we're hearing is that allegedly, there's accountability issues with funds that were raised from the funeral service and other programs of the late Senator Prince Y. Johnson. And the news filtering about is the superintendent has been singled out to give accounts of from the funeral and other activities, and we don't delve here on gossip. We don't dwell on gossip. We'll be speaking to Superintendent Gono to hear her side of the story. Why is it we're hearing this, that funeral allegedly cannot be accounted for? So you can play with any kind of money, but funeral different to play with. But we'll be talking to the superintendent and she's going to give us her perspective on this particular story that is trending in some dailies across Liberia. Well, as we said, we've been behind this entire Peachability release from prison. Now his rearrest, gathering evidence, talking about the whole debacle. Today we'll spend some time to talk about the haves and the haves not. The haves, those who have, and the have nots, those who don't have, and why is there a deep sense that justice in Liberia can see, and the repercussions when justice in your country or a system is deemed to be one that is favorable. We'll be talking about the case, what the drug law says, the judge's decision to have granted bail or bond, the prosecution's seeming failure not to have challenged the defense, motion to be granted bail. If the prosecution, that is the state, did challenge, what was their challenge? And the public pressure that paid off in making sure that Mr. Bility was rearrested. I've already been saying it on this program for a number of days now, that we do have in our possession a video of when his vehicle was searched, things that were recovered. We did see the press release from his father, Representative Musa Hassan Bility, alluding to his son being a victim and other victims in the country. But Peachability in question, with the amount of cocaine, of narcotic substances that were found in his vehicle, cigarette lighter, different things in bulk quantity, and previous records, does it point to the fact that he's a victim, that is a user or a distributor, transporter, and someone who sells or deals in narcotic substances in our country? Well, the father, Representative Musa Hassan Bility, issued a strongly worded release that alluded that political pressure paid off. But today, we will not be dealing with the politics. We'll be dealing with the repercussions. What effects does it have in our country that others and majority of Liberians think that justice in our country has got eyes and is favorable? All right, we also have on our list the issue of the case involving former Finance Minister Samuel Twe and others. The defense, argued motion to dismiss the case, citing that, if any monies were used, they were used for security reasons, and those reasons cannot be disclosed. Remember, the Financial Intelligence Agency and the Central Bank were subpoenaed by the court to provide those records as well. Where are we on this particular case? we will be discussing. And we'll be going to the House of Representatives, where it has been reported that the 3 representatives who were elected on white ballot by the majority-led Speaker Richard Nangbe-Kun in plenary to say, go ye and represent Liberia at Ecowas, information, and we'll be speaking to the Director of Press and Public Affairs at the House of Representatives, Robert Hens. But information that is circulating is that those 3 have been rejected by Ecowas. But not to dwell on you say and they say, we'll be calling Robert Hens. What if not they received a communication from ECOWAS to that effect, citing their rule, the ECOWAS parliamentary rule, and that rule to be cited according to the information. Let me get the right rule. I had that right on my phone about a minute ago, but let me read the right rule that is allegedly being cited by ECOWAS for as the reason for rejection. Again, it's not confirmed. To confirm or deny that, we'll be speaking to Robert Hens, but it's Rule 5 that says the duration of the mandate of the representative shall be a period of 4 years, and it shall begin and end as laid down in Article 18(2)(a) of the Supplementary Act. The representative who has taken oath shall remain a representative and shall not be replaced or dismissed as long as he remains a member of his national parliament. Well, his mandate shall end on death, written resignation, certified mental or physical incapacity, incompatibility, or removal due to disrepute or gross misconduct. These are several rules that can be interpreted as to what the communication is, if there's one. Let's now see if we can connect with Robert Hens. That's the first story we're kicking our show off with, is whether or not the government of Liberia, the House of Representatives, have received a communication from the Economic Community of West Africa, the parliamentary body of the Economic Community of West Africa, rejecting those 3 lawmakers who were elected on white ballot to go and serve at the ECOWAS parliament, recalling those who previously were in that position. Let's see if we can get Robert Hens on the line. I think we have. Good afternoon to you, Director Hens. How are you?
Well, I'm doing good. Down how yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for answering our call on very short notice. But whenever we hear information, it's always good to go to the sources and get the information. Director Hens, you're on the phone because we want to know, has the House of Representatives elected new members to go to the ECOWAS parliament, sir?
Yes, you are absolutely correct. We had elections for our 3 representatives to go to the ECOWAS parliament on yesterday during primary session.
Okay. And those elected, you mind telling the Liberian population?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So yesterday, the elections being held, we had geopolitical and female balance. So when I talk about political balance, it's in the sense of having the ruling party, having the independent, and also having the opposition. So on yesterday, the nominations were on the floor, and Representative Meman Rich Mensa of electoral district number 6, Bon County, was elected. She was nominated, and then subsequently representing the independent candidates. Of course, she won as an independent candidate in the legislature here. She does not come from any of the political parties. So she represented the independent candidates, and she won on white ballot, retaining her seat at the ECOWAS parliament. And then for the ruling party, Representative Augustine B. Chilowo, representing the ruling Unity Party. He comes from electoral district number 5, Lofa County. He was nominated and voted for and won as the representative representing the ruling party, and subsequently represent Liberia at the Ecowas Parliament. And for the opposition, CDC, Representative Samson Kwijuwia of electoral district number 2, Sano County, won, nominated and won, representing the opposition. So it was a whole balance, as it is, geopolitical balance and female representation with the elections being held on yesterday.
Now, has there been any communication sent to the sub-regional body, the parliamentary body, Ecowas Parliament, referencing the election of 3 new officers to represent us there at the parliament, recalling 2 and retaining 1?
Well, let me sit here basically that the Honorable House of Representatives, under the Gapwa House Speaker Richard Nakwekum, which is to categorically dismiss the misleading information circulated on social media, the injection of Liberia's elected representative to the Ecowas Parliament. Let it be clear that under the leadership of Speaker Richard Nakwekum, the House of Representatives has not received any official communication from the Ecowas Parliament on this matter. For the record, the Office of the Chief Clerk serves as the official conduit for all communications to and from the plenary to both local and international bodies. Official parliamentary matters are not conducted on Facebook. Let me say that. And we want to call on, we urge all citizens and residents to disregard baseless social media rumors and rely on credible sources for accurate information.
Director Hens, I just don't want to interrupt your press release. I know you posted, but my question was, having elected those new core of officials to go to ECOWAS from the House of Representatives, have you guys communicated with the sub-regional body about the decision that was made yesterday? Have you done an official communication to ECOWAS?
So we are running a responsible government. We had the elections on yesterday. The chief clerk has been mandated to communicate to the ECOWAS Parliament. All right?
Okay, so you haven't sent any communication yet, or it's in the process? Which is which?
Elections being held yesterday. Communication is being worked on to lead and go to the Ecowas Parliament. But what is training on the social media is false and misleading, and I thought to say that very clearly.
Okay, but there are Ecowas parliamentary rules that deals with the changes to be made to representatives, how terms can be discontinued, and all of that. And specifically, Rule 5 that deals with duration of parliamentary mandate from 1 to 3 talks about how a member can be recalled or taken out of his or her position. Taking these into consideration, Director Hens, was all of that done prior to the elections held yesterday?
First and foremost, let me state to you clearly that it is also intimated in the ECOWAS protocol. If you were to look at it, Article 18, it's clear that there should be balance. That's what I'm telling you about geopolitical balance and also having a female representation and so forth like that. All of these things are being taken into consideration. The first and foremost, the reason why the recall was being done was because it is intimated that there should be election, and there was never an election conducted. Okay. And so, yes, there was never an election conducted. So it was being flawless. And this is the reason why the right thing is now being done to have election.
All right. So from what I hear from you, is that those who were previously sent were selected rather than being elected?
Absolutely, they were not elected. So it's clear, it's 2 ways. You go through election, and second, there got to be resolution.
Okay.
Out of 2 ways. You do, where it's going to be on the basis of a consensus, and then there is a resolution. Having those people going as the representation of our country, the Republic of Liberia. But those were never done. They were being selected. And there is a reason why a decision to have them record came about and for an election to be conducted. We're talking about parliamentary body. All of us know the Robert's rule of intellectualism. and able to look at it and looking at parliamentary issue has to do with election, not appointment. Okay? And not selection, because these people are elected. Like you see, we run a legislative body. Our people here are elected and come to the House of Representatives before they have been placed on committees.
All right. So just to conclude, Director Hens, is that you haven't, as a House of Representatives, yet communicated with ECOWAS about the decision to have a new core of representatives based on what you termed as balance, geopolitical balance, and gender balance as well. And you haven't received any communication of rejection or denial of these new core of representatives to go to the ECOWAS Parliament.
We have not received any communication from ECOWAS Parliament. And our communication as mandated yesterday, the Office of the Chief Clerk, to communicate officially with the ECOWAS Parliament about our elections and our representatives that were elected.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for affording us this opportunity.
Just before I go, let me say this, that for the record, the Office of the Chief Clerk serves as the official conduit for all communications to and from the plenary to other both local or international bodies. Official parliamentary matters are not communicated on Facebook. Liberia's governance process remains responsible, well-structured, and transparent under the leadership of House Speaker Richard Nakwekum.
Thank you, sir.
Very clearly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert Hens is the Director of Press and Public Affairs at the House of Representatives, speaking to social media publications that those three representatives who were elected yesterday on white ballot to go and serve as the new core of parliamentary, representatives from Liberia, they've not been denied according to what we've gathered from social media publications, and hence we decided to call from the House of Representatives is that those members had been rejected. We'll keep following this particular story as it unfolds, but he just stated that the Liberian government or the House of Representatives is yet to communicate with ECOWAS about their decision, and ECOWAS has not yet communicated with them. We move now and go to District number 10, Montserrat County, where there's a conglomeration of groups that have said, Yeke must go, Yeke must go, Yeke must go, we tire, and the song has been singing. Apparently, why have they been singing this song? A conglomeration, not just one group, but different groups put together. I said, look, Yeke, we want to impeach you. Yeah, they're threatening the representative with impeachment. As to the reasons behind these threats, we'll be speaking to one of the heads, lead campaigners of this group, D. Clifford M. Russell. Is the lead campaigner for the coalition of impeachment. Coalition and plenty. Now we've got coalition of impeachment. But let's see if we can talk to Russell on the line. We also lined up to speak to Representative Yeke Koluba, having listened to the allegations as to why concerned citizens for the impeachment of Representative Yeke Koluba has been formed right in his backyard. All right. So let's take Russell on the line quickly. And while we're about to take Russell, remember you can play the radio game. Today is jackpot day. You can win huge sums of money. All you need to do, the dashboard is still open. All you need to do is to dial star 799 star 80 hash. Star 799 star 80 hash. After speaking with Russell, I will speak with one lucky winner on the program. Good afternoon to you, Russell. How are you doing, sir?
Good afternoon, Diamond. I'm doing very well today, and thank you for having me on your show.
All right. Kindly introduce yourself to the Liberian populace and tell us which group are you from?
Okay, my name is D. Clifford M. Russell. I am the lead campaigner for the citation of impeachment against Honorable Yeke Koluba of Electoral District number 10. I am representing the progressive professionals And this entire campaign is been organized by the progressive professional, the conscious-minded youth of District Number 10, as well as the women caucus of District Number 10.
So you have the District Number 10 professionals. You have the conscious-minded youth.
Yeah.
They want to again use critical thinking. And then you have the women group.
Right.
So you guys put together and form the citation of impeachment.
Definitely. There are countless individuals and personality also supporting and are willing to join the cause. We have schools of clergymen, schools of well-meaning community leaders who have also given us the support as well. But basically, up the front,
we're about to get into. I'm just trying to fill out your strength. You know what the law says when it comes to impeaching or removing your lawmaker or recalling your lawmaker. It's far from just gathering those signatures. It's about going to the House of Representatives, presenting your signatures, and there'd be an impeachment or removal procedure session called against your lawmaker, which would take, I hope you're cognizant of the entire process. So I was just trying to fill out, what your group is made up of. But let's go into why you want to impeach Representative Koluba. Just about 2 years so into his term, second term. Why?
Well, the impeachment stems out from the last 6 years under President Weah, and counting on to the 1 year and months under the administration of President Joseph Boakai. Over the last 6 years, Representative Yaka Koluba, as we all saw, as we all know, has been engaged into political fights. He created a fight with the CDC in the name that he was being attacked by the CDC. We approached Honorable Yaka Koluba twice, trying to engage him on how he can lead the district, but to all of our effort never came true. Every time we approached Honorable Yaka Koluba, he always told us that the CDC was fighting him. And we told him that, Honorable Koluba, you were not elected to engage in the fight against the CDC or engage in the fight against fellow lawmakers. You were being elected to represent the district so that we can have tangible results in the district from up Capitol Hills. But that is something that Honorable Yaka Koluba has refused, and if you are aware, and everyone else is aware, the entire leadership of Representative Koluba has been marked by chaos, insecurity, and a lot of disturbance that has benefited the district nothing. Against this backdrop, we as citizens and residents of District Number 10 have to consider that Honorable Yaka Koluba has failed his KPIs, because his KPIs is for him to represent the district, make law that affect the district in Liberia as a whole, and provide oversight as a representative. Honorable Koluba has failed miserably. He has not been able to meet the KPI target, and therefore, Honorable Koluba must be impeached and removed, recalled from the seat, so that the opportunity will be given to another person to represent our district.
How realistic is this campaign, Clifford D. Clifford M. Russell? How realistic is this? Honorable Koluba just won the district overwhelmingly a couple of years back. And are you saying that he's become so unpopular in your district that you can gather 10,000 authentic signatures to start an impeachment or removal proceeding against your lawmaker?
As I speak to you, Diamond, we have already gathered over 5,000 signatures from people who are tired, people who are disappointed in Representative Yaka Koluba. We have those signatures. We have authentic photocopies of ID cards of these people who signed. Those are genuine people who registered, voted within District Number 10. We have already gathered over 5,000 signatures. I can assure you that this is a very realistic campaign. What we have been back on is very reliable, and we are willing to show that this, of course, will reach a desired end. Representative Koluba has no place in the district. He doesn't represent the district. All Representative Koluba does is to go up Capitol Hill, instruct, create confusion, create chaos, and these have not benefited the district for all the first time. District number 10 is a centralized district. It is a district that hosts several business houses. Don't sell, for example. District number 10 houses embassies. District number 10 houses reputable business places. And this is a law who has never, over the last 6 or 7 years, done anything for the district. Let me explain to you a little bit, Damo.
Yeah, because we don't have the luxury of time. That's why. So just go to the key points.
Some of the key points we are calling on Yaka Koluba. For the last 6 years, Representative Koluba has never reported to the district. This is the representative who preaches transparency and accountability. He has failed to establish the development, the district development council. He has failed to develop the district leadership. He has failed to organize the district leadership. We have approached over Koluba more than 2-3 times on that, and it has never materialized. Since Yaka Koluba was elected over the last 6 years and 1 year counting, making it 7 years ago, district number 10 has never had any district city. The schools, district number 10, are unfunded. We got 3 public schools. 2 public schools on the old road and 1 school on the Peace Island that was constructed by Representative Julius Berry and still over the government for public use. That particular school is of low standard. The environment alone does not call for that place to be a public high school. These are things that Representative Koluba is not thinking about. There are no access to free drinking water within the district. People living beyond do not have free drinking water, safe drinking water. There are a lot of issues confronting the district that Representative Koluba has never in a 7 years period visited any community to ask what are the issues concerning us. All he does is that he says he does everything on his own. And we believe that democratization through representation should be a bottom to top approach. Those that you represent should be asked. Those that you represent, their views should be reflected in the decision you make. But Representative Koluba doesn't do that.
Okay, Clifford.
Representative who operates only in North and Kios.
So you've listed your points, and as I said, we do not have the luxury of time. We are trying to speak to Representative Koluba to respond to these allegations as well. We were in a district over the weekend. Another gentleman addressed a similar topic. But how soon should we expect, this petition of yours to impeach Representative Koluba, if it is realistic, as you said? How soon do we expect you to garner up more efforts and get the required number of signatures or even more?
Okay, so on tomorrow, people know we will have we'll release a publication. That is our first press release stating our counts against the representative and why we want him out. Very hopefully on next week we are expected to launch our campaign in the central of Old Road, that is the Old Road market. We'll be having that program directly in the market. We are negotiating with the national police, asking them to provide us security because we are going to be using the Joba market to launch our campaign. For tomorrow, we are going to have our publication on before noon, and I'm definitely going to share it with you and other media outlets.
Are you politically motivated? Clifford?
I am not politically motivated. Yeah.
Because there are allegations and accusations from the other side that you guys have been fueled and sponsored by some politicians in the district. Are you?
Well, I can tell you for sure. For people who live district number 10, the name Clifford is a household name. And they're going to tell you, I am one person who do not play to politics. I do not play with my character. I do not play with my integrity when it comes to politics. Nobody can have me influence. I'm not militant. Somebody raised the same issue and said, "Oh, it's because how you call it, Yeke is talking against Unity Party." I told them, if Yeke.
Oh, are you an affiliate of the Unity Party? Are you an affiliate or a member of the Unity Party? Are you?
I'm not an affiliate of the Unity Party. I'm not a member of the Unity Party.
Okay. All right, Clifford, you just spoke to the fact that you're not politically induced. Neither are you a member of the Unity Party. We will do our background investigation as well. And we will hope that your fight is, motivated by those things that you said, but as well within your democratic rights, to exercise the remedies as provided to you by the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. So we look forward to see how far this goes and whether it's the will of the people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dama. I appreciate it.
All right. So Clifford Russell is the leader for the citation for impeachment, of Representative Yeke Koluba from District number 10, as he said that they've gathered at least 5,000 signatures, and they will start their proceeding very soon as to how that will go. But before moving to the next issue on our agenda, we'll be crossing over to speak to some lucky winners. As I said, we will be ditching out cash as we progress on with the show. So let me call some frequent players, those who have been playing frequently, and they've been rewarded with 1,000 Liberian dollars each. And you can also win at least monies ranging from 10,000, 20,000, and 50,000 Liberian dollars on today. All you need to do is to dial *799 *80 hash, *799 *80 hash, and play the radio game using 200 Liberian dollars if you're using your Liberian dollars wallet, or if you're using your USD wallet to play with $1.50 and stand a chance of winning 10,000, 20,000, and 50,000 Liberian dollars. So we're calling 3 frequent players that have been awarded 1,000 Liberian dollars each. This person is not answering, so move to the next frequent player on our list that has been drawn to confirm that they have received their 1,000 Liberian dollars. After these round of calls, we will speak to the Superintendent of Nimba County, Honorable Mape Kogono, on allegations that FINIRA Ma and other things, other programs that were held, monies that were collected. Citizens of Nimba County, or some citizens of Nimba County, are demanding accountability of those funds that were collected at the FINIRA activities of the late Senator Prince Wa Johnson. This is the Pulse on the Spoon Network. My name is Diamond Slanger. Let's see if now we can speak to the Superintendent of Nimba County for her to give us minutes of her time, at least 10 or 15 minutes, to address these allegations that are currently in the local dailies as well. Anything has to do with FINIRA service, Ma, and all those things. But I think we do have the Superintendent on the line. Good afternoon to you, Honorable Superintendent Gono. Thank you for affording us the opportunity to speak with you.
It's always a pleasure, Simon.
How are you, and how's Nimba County?
I'm doing well, and Nimba is doing well. Nimba is peaceful. Nimba is progressing.
Okay. And how has it been since you took over the administrative affairs of Nimba for you?
Well, it's been a very, very rewarding experience. It's always a good thing to have the opportunity to serve your people. It's always a good thing to have the confidence of His Excellency, our President. So I would like to thank him again for that opportunity. I've had a very good cooperation with the Legislative Caucus, the County Council, obviously our Honorable Vice President, and the people of the experience.
All right. So you started something of a trend that we see other counties are now moving towards. Your welcome gate there. I did see a proposed project from Grand Bassa County. So thank you for that as well. But we've called you specifically to speak to allegations of funeral funds, from funds that were raised at the funeral services and other programs of the late Senator Prince Johnson. Honorable Soup, are you in the know of funds that were raised doing those programs?
Thank you, my dear brother. First of all, for the respect of the institution to speak to this, but it's such an honor to elect
Honorable Soup, we're losing you there. Probably, there seems to be some issue with the network connectivity.
Hello? Can you hear me?
It's still cracking. It's still
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear now. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, I think this is good. So first of all, it was a service to the man whose legacy we honored. Everything a star that no one has seen before. And to make his death look like some kind of place that people were soliciting and collecting money and pocketing, and so this person was bringing the money is totally unfair. Let me just say categorically so that when it comes to the funds, funeral funds for our former senator, our godfather, Senator Prince Yomi Johnson, the superintendent of Nimba did not hear the Ways, Means and Finance Committee. The Honorable Vice President, put a committee in place. The superintendent was not a head, was not a treasurer. The financial aspect of the funeral was not executed by the superintendent. So I don't want to speak to that because the records are there. There's a committee chaired by Honorable Francois Wackley. When it comes to Nimba, what Nimba decides to spend on construction or on development, that last in my purview was the authorization of the county council under the LGA 2018. That is the local government act. So my brother, as far as I know, I have never ever spent money outside of the Nimba County's council resolution. I've never done anything wrong. It's mere propaganda. So to make it look like the superintendent is a susu man that were calling and collecting money from Ecowas, from this group and that group, and has not given accountability to it is laughable. But what I would tell reputable or supposedly reputable institution, the Front Page Africa, you just don't get out and put out story. You see the reaction under their post today. They may as well take it down because Nimba is a serious county. And the people of Nimba know that it's far-fetched.
All right, Soup. Before we let go of you, are there plans? Are you contemplating contesting the upcoming senatorial by-election there in Nimba County? Are you?
I think that once some of the attacks coming from you go or in Nimba, people are saying that there's, you don't speak man of. They will say again. That the slogan that some people are using. You don't see Paul. Some people want to make it as an issue to even support women. So you see what Paul is doing, and people have this. No, I'm not that person. I'm one person who believes that despite the political appetite people may have for my leadership, I believe my path to political ascendancy cannot be overnight. I'm someone who believes that His Excellency put me here to develop. He put me here to support the RS agenda. The Council of Superintendents, well-accomplished people look among themselves, and they all elect chair of the Council of Superintendents. I haven't even served my term. Diamond, if they ask you if the superintendent won't run, says she's running with development. That's why she's known for the development queen of Nimba. I'm running with development. I have no intent to contest the by-elections.
Okay, so clearly spelling out that you have no intent to contest the by-elections that will be held in April there in Nimba County. Superintendent, anything else you want to report to us? Nimbayans and Liberians are listening to you. It's rare now that we get these interviews with you. You're busy with your agenda there in the county. Anything you want to report to the people of Liberia and Nimba County?
I always want to use the opportunity to say, visit Nimba. Nimba is an experience. We are doing well. Nimba is a moving train. Nimba is tasting development. Nimba is moving towards development under the leadership of His Excellency President Joseph Yima Pueka Sr. Nimba has awakened to development. We no longer sleep, so we are in the field working.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Thank you for affording us the opportunity to speak with you.
It's always a pleasure.
Superintendent Mepeko Gono is the superintendent of Nimba County, speaking to allegations on social media that monies that were collected during the funeral activities of the late Senator Prince Ward Johnson, Nimbayans are asking this superintendent, to account for those monies as well. Well, she has said she's not the Susuma. She was not the one in charge. And a committee was set up by Vice President Jeremiah Pankun to handle those activities as well. As to whether or not she harbors an ambition to contest the by-election, the upcoming by-election in the county, she clearly said no. Her ascendancy to political office is not that early as it is. She doesn't harbor any ambition whatsoever at this moment in time. Well, folks, if you're just joining us, this is the Pulse here on the Spoon Network. My name is Diamond Slanger, producing and presenting for you this afternoon. Earlier this afternoon, an army, what's the army now, just using the figure army in terms of their number, an army of motorcyclists decided to march peacefully to the Ministry of Justice, subsequently to the headquarters of the United Nations to present their petition. And their petition is in relation to the recent no-go zone order that was issued by the Liberia National Police after a tragic incident around the Slipway community. Well, motorcycles, that is commercial motorcycles, have been banned from the principal streets of Monrovia. And this has led motorcyclists to, stage a protest action. Jurassic Joe covered that protest action for the Spoon Network, and we do have Jurassic on the line. Good afternoon to you, Jurassic. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm going pretty fine.
All right. So you covered the activities of the motorcyclists. What's the name of the group that staged the peaceful protest or march?
So today was not a peaceful protest. It was just a submission of written to the Justice Minister.
Jurassic, you have to kindly change your location for us a minute so that we can get you really clear. For some reason, we're not hearing you good. All right, so we'll give Jurassic the opportunity to readjust himself, and we'll call him to give us details about what unfolded today in some parts of the country. So let's see if we can reconnect with Jurassic. We also did say that Honorable Yeke Koluba is slated to appear at 4 p.m. on the program. So we're making our efforts to make sure that we can get him on the show, not just to speak to the allegations against him by some members of his district, but also to speak to other national issues as well. So let's see if we can reconnect with Jurassic Joe to give us the update from what happened earlier this afternoon, some parts of the country where motorcyclists staged a march and they were to present a petition. Okay. Yeah, Jurassic, you can go ahead, sir. Yeah. Good. Please go ahead.
All right. So today, like I said, was not the protest day. It was only a submission of letters to the Justice Minister, informing him that they will be marching peacefully on Monday, where they will be delivering their petition to the Liberian leader, that's the President, Joseph Imam, asking the President to put down those fines that were placed on them for not planning the ministry of Monrovia.
Okay, so today they only went to present a communication to the Minister of Justice, informing the Minister of their pending march on Monday.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so what was their strength and how did it go, Jurassic?
Also, they were not in majority. That was a minority group. They are saying on Monday they will be in majority. They are anticipating over 1,000 motorcyclists to take over the street on Monday, and they also CC copied the United Nations nation in Liberia and also the U.S. Embassy similar letter that was also written to the Justice Minister.
Okay, and who received their communication on behalf of the Ministry of Justice? And how were they received?
And the letter at the Ministry of Justice received that the existing team, the Justice Minister office, and also at the one UN house, the head of security received the letter and promised to submit those letters to the head of mission in Liberia.
Okay. All right. How was it in terms of their composure and everything? How did they conduct themselves?
So today it was real peaceful. The police were only marching behind them to observe if any form of violence going to occur. But at the time, there was no form of violence. They were able to march peacefully and submitting those to the major group that they CC copied those letters to.
Okay. In terms of police presence as well, just give us a picture of how the police deployment was to monitor their movement.
So like I said, the police were only driving behind them. The police were in majority, but they were riding their vehicles, and two of them were marching along with the group. So there was no form of violence. So they were only marching to be able to restrict them as they carry on their marching process today.
Okay, so in terms of motorcyclists, they applied. What did some of those who spoke? What did they say? They've been affected by this no-go zone order that has been reinstated by the Liberian National Police.
So the letter that they wrote to the Justice Minister highlighted that the Justice Minister should permit that peaceful march on Monday, and in that letter they also complained the Liberian National Police of brutality towards the motorcyclists, and they also said that over the course of the week, because of the ban protest, two of them motorcyclists was killed by the Liberian National Police in order to restrict them from planning the main street. So because of that, they will be marching peacefully on Monday, and they are requesting that the police should avoid any form of violation on them as they carry on their march on Monday.
All right, Jarasi, thank you so much for updating us concerning that particular development there. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Sam.
Jarasi Joe is one of our correspondents, and he covered the march of motorcyclists as they went to present their communications to the Ministry of Justice and that of the United Nations mission here in Liberia. According to them, they are going to stage a protest action, calling on the government to rescind its decision, to institute or instill the no-go zone across principal streets of Liberia. We'll take a short break to be back. Remember, you can play the radio game. When I get back, I'm going to call one lucky winner. We've also been able to reward 3 frequent players. All you need to do is to dial *799 *80 hash, *799 *80 hash. Play with $200 Liberian if you're using your LD wallet, or you play with $1 50 cents to win 10,000, 20,000, and 50,000 Liberian dollars. So that is, something worth doing. All you need to do is to dial *799 *80 hash, *799 *80 hash. Play with $200 Liberian and stand a chance of winning 10,000, 20,000, or 50,000 Liberian dollars. Play with $1 50 cents if you're using your USD wallet and win the same amount, 10,000, 20,000, or 50,000, Liberian dollars. You can be the next winner. Remember, the more you play, the better your chances of winning. We'll take a short break. When we get back, we'll go into other trending issues across the country. This is The Pulse on the Spoon Network. Don't go away. We'll be right back. All right, folks, welcome back. This is the Pulse here on the Spoon Network. My name is Diamond Slanger. If you're just joining us, the time is 4 p.m. here in Liberia. So a lot of things happening in the country. We began the program by speaking with the Director of Press and Public Affairs there at the House of Representatives, Robert Hens, speaking to allegations surfacing on social media that those who were elected by the House of Representatives to go and represent the country at the sub-regional parliament, that's the Ecowas parliament, have been denied serving by the Ecowas parliament, citing Rule 5, 1 to 3. Well, Robert Hens said the government of Liberia, the House of Representatives, has not communicated whatever to ECOWAS concerning the elections of those three, but their communication is in the pipeline, and they have not received any sort of communication from ECOWAS, that's the ECOWAS Parliament, denying those three representatives. He did say that those who earlier served in that position, were not elected. They were selected and not based on the resolution as well. And their regime of Speaker Richard Nangbekun is righting all of the wrong. We also spoke to Nimba County Superintendent Gono, Mapeko Gono, speaking to allegations that Nimbayans or some Nimbayans are accusing the superintendent of not accounting for funds that were donated or solicited during the funeral activities of the late Senator Prince Y. Johnson. Superintendent Gono categorically denied and rejected claims that she was in any way in charge of the collection of monies. She was not. A committee was set up by the vice president, and she's focused on development there in Nimba. As to whether or not she will be contesting, she will be contesting the upcoming senatorial by-election in the county. She said, nope, now it's not the time. So we move to the next. We also spoke to D. Clifford Russell, the lead campaigner for the citation of impeaching Representative Yeke Koluba. Said their proceeding is ongoing. In fact, the process is ongoing. They have, according to him, 5,000 signatures, and they're soliciting additional 5,000 or more signatures to start up the proceeding of impeaching or removing Representative Yeke Koluba. So getting the signatures is one thing. Now you have to submit your petition for impeachment to the House of Representatives. They will now call an investigative session. And if they are after their investigative session and they find out that yes, this representative has paid the petition of his people or her people, these claims are warranted, and then they will institute an impeachment proceeding leading to a vote and see whether or not they can expel or impeach that particular lawmaker. As to whether or not it's a doable thing, we're watching the process to see how it goes. But according to Clifford, they have a very solid support base, and there are people in the district who feel Representative Koluba is not representing them at all. We've been making our efforts to contact Representative Yeke Koluba. We've placed numerous amount of calls. He's not responded. We've sent him messages, and of course, he promised to appear at 4 p.m. It's now after 4, but we'll keep doing our best to get his side of the story, plus other national issues for the representative of Montserrat District number 10 to speak to. But our next topic, our next issue to exhaust on our schedule for today has got to do with the pitchability story. And I like to coin it the tale of the haves and the have-nots, and why justice in our country, according to Liberians, many Liberians, has got eyes that the law can see in Liberia. So in March of last year, we all know the story. In March of 2024, the son of Representative Musa Hassan Peach Bility, was arrested according to the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency on Miami Beach. He was arrested with a firearm. The officers seized from him 21.4 grams of kush, 500 grams of marijuana, a single barrel gun, an orange-colored firearm, and a black pistol with ammunition. So, for the first time, I'm going to play this particular video that I gathered from sources, a video showing the search of Peach Bility's vehicle when it was seized by agents of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency.
All right. That's weed. Dry is his fault. Someone get higher than you. You're doing it Friday and get sent. This money is March 2026. This video was such. So much, lots of narcotics. That's one is legal. How do you got leather? Hold up,
So for those of you listening, I'll play the video again and I'll tell you what are the contents. You listen to the DA agents listing the contents that were taken from the vehicle. And then we'll go to the drug law of Liberia. We'll speak to the drug law of the country. And we'll go to every other thing that happened leading to the release and subsequent rearrest of Peachability. So I'll play this video one more time.
All right. Dry his sport. Someone get higher than you.
You doing a frame, get sent. It's money.
March 2026. This video was such. So much. Lots of narcotics. That's one is legal.
All right, so in the video, this video it's my first time playing this video since I got the video because we've been following up on the investigation and speaking to our sources. And in the video, the vehicle of Peachability was searched, open search, you know, everybody around. The LDA officers retrieved dozens of lighters, presumably used to light, you know, narcotic substances. They retrieved narcotic substances, drugs, if you want to call it, in according to their charge sheet. They retrieved, you know, 21.4 grams of kush, 500 grams of marijuana, a single barrel gun, an orange-colored firearm, and a black pistol with ammunition. So the pistol, you know, had bullets and the rest. And he was subsequently arrested. But before he was arrested, this is what happened to an agent of the LDEA, and I'll play this video again, and I'm sure this is the first time this video has been played.
You haven't seen Doma from DEA? They got, but the man that driving the car is a drink driver. The man, hello, gentlemen, you got ID card with you? Yeah. I won't call for the car to come for you. But the car,
so what you listen to, and for those of you watching, I apologize for the graphic content of that video, but that is an agent of the LDEA, one Harrison Double, whom when the DEA, allegedly when they went to raid the area where Peach and his crew operates, the agents were met with stiff resistance and they were overpowered while they were escaping. That LDA officer, in an attempt to jump onto the vehicle and get out of the area, fell off, and he was allegedly ran over by the driver of the LDA vehicle. According to what we've gathered, that agent is still recovering from injuries that he sustained. The reason I played that video, and I'm going to talk about it, is the issue of drugs in our country has got a serious effect. There are serious players in the circle in our country. Very serious players. There are those who are deemed as the barons, those who are the top, those who import pure substances, and they transported from Liberia being used as a hub. There are other middlemen and distributors, and there's also those who are on a smaller level, distribute in the communities. According to statistics, 2 out of 10 Liberian youth is experimenting with drugs and other substances. 2 out of every 10 Liberian youth is experimenting with drugs and other substances. So if you do the maths, if you look at our population growth, in the next 5 to 10 years, if care is not taken, you will have at least 1 million to 1.5 ardent, hardened drug users and abusers in our country. That is how terrible the situation is. And in a country of ours, where we're still trying hard to grapple with the effects of how and what drugs does, and we all hailed the drug law, and I'm going to read 14.85 of the drug law of Liberia. 14.85, what it says. Let me go straight to 14.85. This is the Controlled Drug and Substance Act of 2023. So I'm reading straight from the law. 14.85. It reads, unlicensed sale, trading, administration, dispensation, delivery, distribution, dispatch, or dispatch in transit, and transportation of controlled drug or substances. 14.85 of the Controlled Drug and Substances Law of Liberia 2023. It reads, offense. A person commits an offense if he or she sells or offers of sale or trades or administers or dispenses or delivers or gives away to another or distributes or dispatches in transit or transports any controlled drug and substance listed in schedules 1, 2, 3, and 4, or acts as a broker in any of such transactions without a license from the minister. The minister in this case is the Ministry of Health. And no consignment of such drugs or controlled substance while in transit or being stored in a bounded warehouse shall be subject to any process which would change the nature of the drug in question. Grading. The offense of unlicensed sale, trading, administration, dispensation, delivery, dispatch in transit, and transportation of controlled drugs or substances shall be graded as follows. Where the subject matter of the offense is a drug or substances listed in Schedule 1, or precursor or essential chemical listed in Table 1 and Table 2, to be used for the purpose of trafficking, the person shall be guilty of a felony of the first degree, and, if need otherwise, shall be guilty of a second-degree felony and shall serve a sentence between 10 to 20 years as prescribed in Section 5.50.5 and 50.6 of the Penal Law of Liberia. Where the offense is deemed as a first-degree felony, it shall be a grave offense and shall not be bailable. Underline, shall not be bailable. Where the offense is deemed a second-degree felony for the purpose of bail, only cash to the value of twice the bond or cash deposit in the bank to the value of twice the bond as evidenced by a bank certificate. I'll stop right there. So, according to our law, the Controlled Drug and Substances Act of 2023, that many Liberians deem as the non-billable drug law, I read 14.85, states that if you involve in transiting drugs, trafficking, distributing, dispatching, dispatch, they give to you, they say carry to the other place. That's dispatch, But you say, oh, no, but you know that what I just carrying a dispatch, sale, and the rest as listed by the law. Depending on the grade and the amount, the quantity, you either charged with a first-degree felony that is non-billable, or a second-degree felony that if you are going to make bail, you must pay twice the amount of the value of the substances that were found on you or found with you, and you shall show a bank certificate. So that is the condition of release for a second-degree felony. The first degree is non-billable. And the case of Mr. Ability was classified as non-billable. But we'll move to the bill and what is stipulated by law, that it should be a cash bond, twice the value. What we've gathered from the Ministry of Justice, and I'm going to share the evidence with you as of when Mr. Ability was released by the judge, Blamo Dixon. This is what the Ministry of Justice posted on their page after we started to talk about this matter. Remember, Peach was in jail pending trial from March to October. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 7 months awaiting trial. This is what the Ministry of Justice had posted concerning the release after there was serious public outcry, questions, and the rest as to how come Mr. Ability was released from the confines of the Monrovia Central Prison. So I'm getting it to read it for those of you listening, and I'll put it on the screen for those of you watching if you haven't seen it yet. So it reads, Ministry of Justice, Republic of Liberia, Payne Avenue, 14th Street Sinker, P.O. Box, 9051, 1000 Monrovia, 10, Liberia. For those of you watching, hold on a minute. Let me put it on the screen. If you haven't yet seen it, I'm trying to put it on the screen for you. Okay, this is the one. All right. So give me a minute because it took a lot of fact finding and investigations, and people in Liberia need to be informed, because as it stands, there is an accusation that the law in our country can see and is favorable to those who have favor. So this is what the Ministry of Justice wrote. The Ministry of Justice notes with concern articles in newspapers and statements, comments, assertions, and utterances on social media that a defendant, Peach Ability, was illegally released by the Ministry of Justice from the Monrovia Central Prison, where he was incarcerated and awaiting trial for crimes of unlicensed possession, sale, trade, administration, dispensation, delivery, distribution, dispatch in transit, and transportation of controlled drugs or substances, and unlicensed possession, sale, and distribution of controlled drug substances. The Ministry of Justice wishes to inform the public that these news articles, statements, comments, assertions, and utterances are false and misleading. Defendant Peach Bellete was released from the Monrovia Central Prison on November 15, 2024, upon the orders of His Honor A. Blamo Dixon, Resident Circuit Judge, Criminal Court C. Hereto attached is a copy of the release from Criminal Court C. The Ministry of Justice kindly requests the public to please engage the Ministry of Justice on events, and the Ministry will endeavor to provide with adequate and transparent explanations. So let me get the release for you. Even after the charges thereto are in line with 14.85, the judge granted bail. And what kind of bail was it? Was it stipulated by law, or was it discretional? So I'll post the next, which is the release order. I'm trying to get the release order. Okay, there you have it. So I'll post the release order. Okay, so just give me a minute, please. Let me post the release order. So where is it? Okay, there you have it. So this is the release order. Remember what the law said, or what the law says about release, that if it's a second-degree felony, you must provide a cash bond twice the amount of the substances or the value of the substances that were found in your possession. So please check the sound. For those of you watching, please check the sound. We'll do a quick studio sound check and see whether or not that were found. Okay, so we do have sound on the coverage. Kindly check your device, Harriet. All right, so this is the release order. As you can see, Republic of Liberia, Montserrado County, the First Judicial Circuit Criminal Assizes C for Montserrado County, Republic of Liberia, sitting in November term AD 2024. So just kindly check your device, because I'm getting sound from what I'm using to monitor. See whether or not. So kindly check your device. Please do that for me. All right. So the release order states, before His Honor A. Blamo Dixon, Resident Circuit Judge, the Republic of Liberia, by and through the Ministry of Justice, plaintiff, the crimes, unlicensed possession, sale, trade, administration, dispensation, delivery, distribution, dispatch in transit, and transportation of controlled drugs or substances, 14.85. So the charges and crimes thereto are relevant and in line with 14.85. 2. Unlicensed possession and sale and distribution of controlled drugs and substances, 14.89. So the first point for us to establish is, according to the court document, Mr. Bellete was not deemed as a victim. According to the law, he was charged as a facilitator, a transporter, a distributor, a dispatcher, a trafficker of drugs and other substances. Meaning, if even he qualified under 14.85, the second degree felony, you're talking about providing a cash bond of twice the value of the substances that were found in your possession. Now, the part that says it is non-bailable has been the debate. Non-bailable doesn't mean you cannot be granted bail at all, or there must be certain conditions you should meet before you can be granted bail. When your crime is bailable, it means the judge has got no right whatsoever, once you meet the criteria, to grant you bail. But if it is non-bailable, according to my legal coaches that I've been consulting, there are some loopholes or some conditions that, if met, like the Gloria Mususka trial, prior to the state denying them bail, the defense tried to tell the state that, look, yeah, even though it's murder and it's non-bailable, but these people are not a fly rakes. The other person is old. This other person has served the country in so many ways. So there's no way you can say they wouldn't, they wouldn't come to court or not. Now, the second part is Mr. Belete was found with weapons in his possession. Makes you, apart from being in possession of drugs and narcotic substances, it makes you a danger as well. So whether the judge, looking at the charge sheet or whatever, looking at what the investigative report stated, being in possession of narcotic substances, being in possession of weapons, makes you not just a transporter or a distributor, but a danger to society. Discretion-wise, wasn't that a red flag for the judge to look at? To say, even if I'm to use my discretion, these additional items that were found in your possession makes you a danger. But we come to the release as well, that if it's a second degree, why didn't they submit a cash bond in the tune of twice the price of the value? And where is the certificate to back that? Because the law clearly states that even if you are to make bail, you are to pay twice the value of the substances found in your possession and issue a certificate from the bank. So not just to go and say, oh, we pay the money, you have to issue a bank certificate. Were those satisfied? The reason I'm talking about this today is when these cases pop up, where you have other people who their family don't really have name, the family of ordinary people, and the court in possession, and it's deemed that, look, you cannot be released on bail, no matter what. Some of whom were caught with substances in lesser value or quantity. When you have a DEA officer in the process of the arrest sustaining serious injuries in an attempt to escape, and then you find out that the same person whose arrest led to all of these things have been let out on bail with questionable circumstances, it undermines the fight. It makes these drug enforcement officers and other law enforcement officers who are going on the field, risking their lives, these informants who are giving information, it puts them at risk. It emboldens the offenders that, oh yeah, oh, do they want, we press the right button, we do the right thing, we'll come. When the law is seen as it has eyes and it favors, it undermines the very law and order that we are trying to uphold. When the society is seen as the privileged and the underprivileged, the next qualm is, did the prosecution object when the defense proposed a bail? And if so, did the judge take those objections into consideration? According to information, and again, we have to verify, It didn't happen. It didn't happen. So when Mawata's son, Mawata who can sell kobo, and that is the reason I have an issue, serious issue with professionals in our country. What are lawyers, so? What are doctors, so? What are engineers, so? What are the rest? When you reach out to them and you want information and you want clarity and you tell them, come on the radio and educate our people about their rights and their responsibilities, they will shy away. I won't go on our show because the politicians are political lawyer. Look, when you as a professional will volunteer your time pro bono and teach the people about their rights and their responsibilities and what the law says and how the law protects them, you are informing them and you are making law enforcement to be on their best behavior and to act right. Now the reason when you credit from somebody and the person go to, I will surely want you today, I'll go to the police station and go and bring police officer instead of the person carried to the debt court, which is a civil matter. They drag you straight to the police station. I want for that man to sleep inside for 3 days. You will know me today. Poor man who doesn't know his right, it will be infringed upon. When the law in our country is seen as, nothing will come from all of that team, man. That is when you have mob violence. When you have repeat offenders will go in and come out and say, my man, yeah, I just went inside there to rest for a few days, I'm back. And the community feels unsafe. And people feel like they cannot tell and they cannot be whistleblowers. The society then tends to harbor these things. And whenever they vent their anger, they vent it in the sense of violence. Because the mindset is, if I'm a partner, nobody, or I know nobody, and anything happen, the law is going to hold me. But if I'm from somewhere and I get backing and I do this and I do that, they will find some kind of way to take me out. Why the embarrassment of releasing and then re-arresting? Representative Belete in a statement said his son didn't violate any of the conditions that were set for his release on bail. So why the grounds of re-arrest? Was it established that the release wasn't done properly? Was it established that in the first place he shouldn't have been released? After the Ministry of Justice said yes, it was the judiciary that released this man based on a release order. Why the rearrest? Something wasn't done right. However it is, that notion that if you know the right person and you can click the right button and you can do the right thing, even non-bailable offenses can be built out. The issue is there should be a holistic investigation. What else has gone unreported? What else is cooking? What else has happened that people and offenders or alleged offenders shouldn't be walking the streets, and some of them have been released and others have left the bailiwicks of this country? Why are we undermining the very same fight against substance abuse that we all have championed and held? Why? When the law is seen as it's got eyes and it can favor, the citizens will lose trust. Those who are carrying on these acts will become bold, to be bolder. Yeah, but man, yeah, we can do whatever, no regard for the laws.
because we know the right person. A typical example of how those in authority can undermine the very laws is when you stand in front of a police officer who has arrested you or who has pulled you off the road. Then you take the telephone, say, you, Jaway, hello? Yeah. I hear your officer in Gemi here, he say I can go. He said my car document are correct. And you know your car document are correct. Yeah, he said my car not insured. And register, I ain't get your license. Like why you say, oh? Yeah. Get him on the phone. Hello, chief. Yeah, this is 11111. Leave that car at my interest. Yeah, you hear me? Stand down. Yeah, stand down. Stand down. That's my interest. Let the car go. Yeah? Let it go. All right. Bye-bye. Then the person who makes the call sees that officer as nothing. Because someone who is to uphold the law, to interpret the law, to uphold the law, to implement the law, is telling his subordinate to stand down. Don't implement the law. Let that one go. But the one who doesn't have a higher up number to call, hold that person. That uniform has been disrespected by the very boss. That officer has been demeaned by the very boss. That oath that you swore to protect and uphold, you've broken it. And you know what it leads to? It leads to gross indiscipline. We don't respect the officers anymore. You able to do that thing in a country of laws, an advanced country? If you do not have the clearance, if your vehicle is not a covered vehicle, or you do not have special clearance or pass, for an officer to pull you over, then you take phone, you call. And the person say, oh, my man, stand down. Let that thing go. Let that thing be. My son can be in jail with the other people. My daughter can be in jail. Meanwhile, they committed or they are accused of committing the same offense as the common person's child. But they can be in jail. Jail not for them. The jail horse is for the man who's got no deep pocket and no connection. When we do these things, it undermines the very fabric of law and order. So the law enforcement officer looks at it and say, well, same me, I can be arresting car and the people can say, so myself, I'll be taking my thing and putting it in my pocket. Then it leads to insecurity in the country. Because once I can pull up something for the officer, whether my car full or whatever, he will let me to pass. Then everybody's looking for their own interest. When the law is seen as it got eyes, it can see, it can favor, the repercussions are many. Criminals get emboldened. They get bold because they got the right buttons to press so they can do whatever and they feel like they can go with impunity. It becomes a large-scale thing. Then you and myself will no longer safe. When the drug issue in our country is becoming a pandemic, everywhere you turn, you see our children. Our children are hooked on these substances. And the fight that we are supposed to take serious from the higher level to the lowest, there seem to be a lot of holes being poked. So I just thought to share that with you. The communication from the Ministry of Justice, the video of the search of Peach Bellete's vehicle, the charges in line with 14.85, why grant bill, the conditions that should have been met, and the repercussions. And it's not just going to stop there. We will be inquiring, because all court documents, unless classified, that is, you go to a special court, tribunal for national security issue, they redact the pages and all that kind of stuff, they tell you it's classified, but court records are public records. And we want to find out whether the prosecution objected, and if their objections were denied or overruled by the judge, and what made the judge his legal reliance to have released Mr. Bellete's son, and what was the reliance again. So it's discretional to have rearrested after much public outcry. That DEA officer who sustained the injuries, we're hoping and praying that he recovers fully. We have been informed that he has not since recovered fully. And these are the sacrifices that are being made. And when an officer such as Officer Bobo, who sustained those gruesome injuries, hears that, oh, all of what you suffer for, you shed blood for, you nearly died for nothing. It kills the morale of the men. You know what the men start to do? They themselves start to become facilitators, because the few, they think we can solve the problem, or we'll do it, we'll catch the people who carry them, our posse will free them, or we'll catch them, we'll carry them, there will be some compromise. So at the end of the day, myself will let me start taking my team from the low level. There should be training and retraining. There should be serious SOS, security on security. We're getting a lot of information from the LDA, and we'll investigate those information that allegedly LDA agents and officers are getting rich overnight. They're buying cars overnight. They're getting wealth that cannot commensurate with their salaries overnight. And we're calling on the authorities of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency to look into these allegations, to scrutinize, to know whom they're dealing with, and how we as a country, we all can take this fight against drugs seriously. Because in the next 5 to 10 years, if we're not careful, we will be a drug-infested nation. And where there's drugs, there is insecurity, there is violence. Cartels will start fighting for turf. Your live valuables will not be safe anymore. There was one incident, a woman poured a pot on a fire with a soup, everything, the men and papa ate the whole pot and soup, everything was taken away. You live in fear. And eventually, drug cartels can take over countries. A prominent example is Haiti right now. Gangs, drugs can take over an entire country. These guys are powerful that if you don't put a lid on them now, they can destabilize a whole country to have a safe haven to do their thing. That is why we need to hold this thing by the neck. You look around in Monrovia, there are FOCs, a lot of fruit of the crimes from drugs, high-level dealers and importers, those who are using our country as transit points. And we still have got time. It's not out of hand that if we want to take serious measures, we can. We need to see a realistic approach to the fight against drugs. And today, DEA go confiscate small quantity of drugs, they call a hell of a press conference, and everything, charade and showmanship. When the law states it's non-billable, or the law sets conditions for bill, they must be met. when it was the time for original Japan, everybody said the law should take a course. Let the law take a course. Japan must go to jail. Japan must face trial. But today, people are citing 14.82, 18.2, and the rest. This is the only country we have. This is the place you and I, apart from those who are naturalized citizens in other countries, do enjoy natural rights and the rest. This is where, when you go out of your country and your country is doing good, you're proud of. This is why, against all of the advice, oh, my man, not all that thing, man, like people think, that thing, you know, they were handling that thing, my man, yeah. Some of us are shockingly stubborn. And we kept looking around to see how much we can dig. So don't look at where you slip, where you fell, look at where you slipped. So if that was a slip, that slip should be corrected. If the law is to apply, let the law apply equally. If you meet the legal categories to be granted bail and it's well within your rights, you can. But the law shouldn't be seen as it favors only the privileged and the elite. So that's why I stopped on that one. I'll play that video of the vehicle search and seizure one more time. And I'll play the video of Officer Bobo, but with a warning that it is graphic content, especially for viewers watching us online. So let's play those video clips one more time, and then we'll wrap up. I'll see if I can draw a winner, and if I can call some lucky winners as well. So this is the search of the vehicle of pitchability.
All right. Dry, you see it's full? Someone get higher than you.
You doing afraid and get sent. It's my name.
March 2026. This video was such. So much. Lots of narcotics. That's one is legal.
What is that right there? Hold up.
Viewers' discretion is advised for this particular video.
You haven't seen Tower for DA. They made. But the man driving the car is a dream driver. The man, hello, gentlemen, you got the guy with you? Yeah. I won't call for the car to come for you. But the car,
all right, so folks, that's that. And before I wrap up quickly, let me look at my dashboard and see. Yes, so you still have time to play. So please play and let me draw a winner quickly. Let me draw a winner quickly. All right, so I've called these three frequent winners. They won 1,000 each. And I'm trying to get the exact percentage according to the Revised Drug and Substances Law of Liberia 2023. But what I do know, and tomorrow, on Monday when I come, I'll tell you the exact percentage. I don't want to give false information, but according to the law, FOCs, or assets that are seized from convicted drug transporters and distributors and the rest, assets that are seized, they are sold by the government, and the percentage I'm knowledgeable of is that 50% goes to the government coffers, but the percentage that goes to the LDA and the percentage that goes to rehabilitation of victims is what I don't have at the tip of my finger. So I do not want to give you half information, but I know that assets that are seized, assets, whether your car, whether your houses, whatever that is deemed after your conviction, these assets were gotten, or these properties and the rest were gotten from the sale of illegal substances in our country. The government takes 50%. It goes to government revenue. 50% goes to government revenue. A percentage goes to the LDA for its operations, and a percentage goes towards rehabilitation efforts in the country. But when I get back on Monday, I will tell you the exact percentages that goes to each. But I know 50% goes to the government revenue once those assets are sold off after your conviction. And just to close, I remember as a kid growing up, we watched this movie, but I just don't know. I just cannot remember the title of that movie anymore. But I do know what the storyline was. So the daughter of, I don't know if it was the president or a senator or a governor. Again, I can't tell the exact position at the time, but I watched that movie. And she was arrested for something that she did that was wrong. And everybody, including the mother, was convincing the father, who was either the president or a governor of a state or a senator, one of the three, to use his political leverage to get his daughter out, to water down the offense, and use political maneuvering and the rest. And he vehemently said, no. If the laws are meant for everybody to follow, and my daughter, who is supposed to uphold the highest standard and be a role model, goes and breaks the law should take its full course. And that movie taught us a lot. But someone said, I just show. In real life, it's hard to do. But sometimes the tough thing to do is often the best thing to do. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back here on Monday. Yekazis will be back here with you on tomorrow. And the show doesn't come on Friday, but I'll be back here in your company on Monday. But before I go, let me leave you with this freestyle. At least we started the show, on a lighter note. We'll end on this very light note.
Purchase your tracks today.
Let have you. The freestyle in a style. We feel me and they say, whoa, whoa. I still can't all my listen. I mean, when you come in, I come into the school.
All right, so Shanna was the one that produced the freestyle beat. So the first day in school at school 92. All right, folks, have for yourselves a wonderful, afternoon, and I'll talk to you on Monday. Do have for yourselves a wonderful weekend once this weekend, but I'll be back here on Monday as well. Pleasant day, and bye-bye.